Alright guys, today we're jumping into a manhwa where an ordinary guy suddenly becomes the greatest actor alive, thanks to a mysterious system. Here's how it works. Whenever he's pulled into this strange black zone, the system literally imprints the role into him down to every gesture, every emotion, every line. When he comes back out, he doesn't just act the part, he is the part. Now here's the kicker, nobody else knows this system exists. To everyone watching, he looks like a once-in-a-century genius, a natural-born prodigy who delivers flawless performances without even trying. Directors are blown away, rivals can't believe it, and fans think he's rewriting what acting even means. But the funniest part? All those jaw-dropping performances lead to one misunderstanding after another. People think he's intentionally flexing, being mysterious, or even mocking others, when really, he's just as confused as them, trying to keep his secret under wraps. The gap between what he knows and what everyone else sees makes this story both hilarious and epic. So buckle up, this is the tale of how a regular guy got a broken system, became the top actor in the world, and turned the industry upside down, all while everyone else thought he was just a genius from day one. Our boy Wayne had somehow stumbled into a talent show audition, except one of the judges was a gorgeous woman who looked at him like he just invented fire. She asked, "So, did you graduate from some fancy theater program? Study abroad? Juilliard maybe?" Wayne, trying to play it cool, replied, "Nah, I just kinda taught myself." The other judges nearly fell out of their chairs. That wasn't the acting of an amateur. Meanwhile, Wayne's brain was going, really? Because it wasn't that hard. Then, without warning, he decided to pull the ultimate flex. By the way, don't use my performance on broadcast. If you do, I'll sue. Awkward silence. The judges sat there stunned like, did this kid just threaten to lawyer up? Hyan, the goddess herself, muttered, "There's no way he's actually self-taught. That's a lie." Another judge whispered, "If he enters the entertainment jungle, he'll become a monster." Wayne was already outside, embarrassed out of his mind, thinking, what the hell was that black square thing anyway? Flashback to the night before. Wayne was blackout drunk. His last memory? Throwing his resignation letter at his slimy CEO and celebrating like he'd just won the lottery. Now his head's pounding, his phone's ringing. Oh look, it's his buddy Youngdae. "Did you get home safe last night?" Youngdae asked. "Define safe, we negroneth." Turns out, Wayne disappeared for 30 minutes while drunk. He doesn't remember a thing. Youngdae reminds him they agreed to go to the super actor preliminary audition together. Wayne's like, "What audition?" Youngdae explains it's a massive SBC talent show. Ordinary people, trainees, everyone competing to be the next superstar. Wayne clowns him. "Didn't you say acting was just a hobby?" Youngdae snaps. "Shut up. I passed the first round. Just come support me. I'll buy you samgyeopsal and unlimited soju." Bribery successful. Wayne agrees. But when he hears the name of one of the judges, Hong Haein, the goddess, he suddenly gets nervous and blushes like a middle schooler texting his crush. The next day, the audition hall's packed. Wayne's jaw drops when he sees Hyan. He whispers to Youngdae, "Bro, goddess. Actual goddess." But Youngdae? Dude's trembling like he's about to take the SATs. Wayne teases him, "Why so nervous? You even performed for free at an acting club once." Minutes later, Youngdae's face turns pale. Emergency. The man looks like a mummy begging for a bathroom break. Wayne waves him off. "Go! Hurry! Before you explode!" Youngdae runs for his life. 10 minutes pass. Still no sign. Wayne mutters, "What'd he do? Fall into the toilet?" Then disaster strikes. The announcer calls their names. Twice. Wayne panics. Crap. They're calling us. If he doesn't show up, he's disqualified. He tries stalling. My friend just went to the washroom. Can we wait a minute?" The announcer smirks like a Disney villain. "It's fine. If he's late, you go in instead." And just like that, Wayne gets shoved in front of the judges, blinking like, "Wait! I'm the one auditioning now!" A man hands him a script. Assignment. Improvisational acting. Wayne stares at it and then, boom! A black square appears floating next to the page. Curiosity kills him. He pokes it. His body glows like Windows XP shutting down. Next thing he knows, he's sucked into some creepy subspace world. The script materializes. Unknown. Grade F 10% readable. Wayne squints. Cool, I guess? He selects Frightened Man. Suddenly, red forest. Darkness everywhere. He hears footsteps. Then a psycho with a knife shows up and stabs him. Wene feels every ounce of pain. He screams like he's in a horror movie marathon. Back in reality, he collapses on the floor, screaming. Judges gape. Heian's eyes sparkle like she just discovered gold. Wene lies there thinking, crap. Did I just expose my secret? He tries to play it off, threatening again. Don't air this, or I'll sue. Then storms out like a wannabe mob boss. Outside, Young Dae finally returns, zipping his fly. Wene asks, how'd your audition go? They kicked me out in 15 seconds. Also, why are the judges asking about you? What did you do? Wene laughs nervously. Nothing special. Translation, I may have just traumatized them. Then, Young Dae hands him another script. Boom, black square again. Wene confirms. Time freezes whenever he goes inside. People can't see it. The exit word is literally exit. He experiments with other scripts, learns about grades, C, E, even a shiny grade B for an unproduced screenplay. Jackpot. But then, his embarrassing audition video gets sent to him. He cringes pressing play, only to realize, wait, this actually looks amazing! Somewhere else, writer Uni is watching the same video, jaw on the floor. That expressiveness, that sociopath vibe, he's perfect. Meanwhile, Wene, lying in bed. So, I'm accidentally a genius actor. Great. Next day, producer Manu calls. Wants to meet. Wene tries to dodge but ends up in a room with big-name execs. They shove a tablet at him. Act something, anything. Wene panics. No black square, no superpowers. His acting turns into garbage. Judges whisper, was yesterday a fluke? Then Manu squints. Wait, is he acting like he can't act? Genius! Wene confused. Wait, how do you even act like you can't act? But whatever, he keeps the poker face. Judges interpret everything as galaxy, brain acting. He basically stumbles into looking like a misunderstood genius. Then Manu drops the bomb. We want you in our new drama. Pick any role. Wene flips through the script, shrugs, and picks assistant manager Park, the sociopath character nobody else wanted to touch. Uni gasps. He picked Park, the monster role. My baby. Wene tosses the script aside. Don't need it. I got this. Seconds later, he dives into the subspace, comes back, and absolutely murders the scene. Voice changes. Aura changes. He's Park now, breaking dog skulls in his mind, blood spraying back in the real world. The judges look like they just witnessed an exorcism. Uni is obsessed. It has to be him, nobody else. This man is Park. Wene sighs, exhausted. Damn, that role sucks. Literally sociopath vibes. But too late. The writers, producers, everyone, they're hooked. So picture this. Writer Uni grabs Wene's hands like she just found the last PS5 on Black Friday. Dude's overwhelmed, wide-eyed like, ma'am, please, personal space? She apologizes, but her face is basically screaming, must! Sees this. Wene realizes, okay, this subspace thing? It's not just cool, it's insane. Like cheat codes, insane. Then Manu the producer slides in, telling Uni to calm her fangirl energy. He's got questions, serious ones. So, Wene, you said you studied acting by yourself for Super Actor? Wene internally. Bro, it's literally day 2. Wene, externally, trying to sound like a seasoned veteran. Been a while. Manu squints, judging his vibes. With that level of skill, you've been doing this for at least 10 years. Wene, internally panicking. 10 years? Sir, I was gaming and eating ramen yesterday. Manu presses harder. Where did you self-study? Ween. Next question. Manu's not buying it. No way the directors would have left you alone. Did you study overseas? Weenie's brain. Oh god, the lore is getting bigger. Am I supposed to say Juilliard? Then Hong Haiyan, goddess of timing, swoops in like a lawyer. Are there circumstances where he doesn't have to answer? Wene, inside his head, giving her a slow thumbs up. Yes. Secret circumstances. Totally real. Not made up. Manu sighs. Fine. But it's not criminal, right? Right? Wine's poker face. Totally not criminal. Then comes the golden question. Why'd you choose the role of Assistant Manager Park? Wene, casual. Short scene. The room freezes. Uni's jaw hits the floor. Short? That's like the hardest role to pull off. Manu. Most people would avoid that like the plague. This guy? Either a genius or a lunatic. Heian. He's showing off while pretending he's not. Classic cool guy move. Wayne internally. Why is everyone having anime-level monologues about me? I'm just trying to not get evicted. He bails. I'll think about it. Runs away like a man escaping a bad Tinder date. Outside, he mutters, No, seriously. What the hell is wrong with that meeting room? Phone call Young Day. Meet me tonight, I'll buy food. Oh, and give back the script. Wene hits the elevator. Ding. Hong Haiyan's voice echoes. Why didn't you accept right away? He turns. She's standing there. Beauty level? Illegal. His heart is playing DDR in his chest. Wene, putting on fake arrogance. Needed time to think. Translation. If I say yes too fast, I won't look cool. She steps closer. Do you have an agency? Wene brain-fried. No. Do I need one? She grins. How old are you? Wene. 27. Her. Oh, I'm 2 years older. Door closes. Wene, in shock. Holy crap! I just had small talk with Hong Haiyan. Meanwhile, in another building, they're rewatching Wene's audition tape. Manu. This dude didn't just act. He shapeshifted. Then instantly snapped back to normal. Like a damn chameleon. Others. Genius or psycho? Uni? Full gremlin mode. If he doesn't take the role, I'll riot. Who else can even touch this? The blonde exec rolls his eyes. Plenty of top stars want this role. Why bother with an arrogant nobody? Manu sighs like a dad. He's always been like this. Kids these days call it my way-o attitude. Blonde, losing it. Bro, Assistant Manager Park is a supporting role. He's trying to raise his price tag. Uni, menacing smile. Don't. They cave. Fine. Pay above average. Throw in a confidentiality clause. Slam the contract. Next day, Wene shows up. Lee, the manager, is acting shady but oddly nice. Careful, man! Rumors spread fast. Wene hopeful. Please let it be more than 3. 01. Manu slides the contract across the table. Fee, 250. 01 per episode. Wene frozen. Did I read that right? Internally screaming, Bro, that's like 800 ramen bowls. I'm rich. Manu mistakes his silence. Oh no, is it too low? Fine, 350. 01. Wene nods, trying to look cool. Yeah, that's enough. Inside. Take my soul. I'm yours. Contract signed. Casting locked. Wene leaves like he just robbed a bank legally. Later call from his mom. He proudly says, Mom, I'm gonna be an actor. Her deadpan. Do you want to go to a hospital? Wene, thanks, Mom. Meanwhile, rumors spread. Industry whispers, hidden actor. Next big thing. Kong Wene. Wene? Totally clueless. Browsing film forums like a Reddit noob. Reading gossip about himself like, haha, imagine if that was me. It is him. Detective agency short film catches his eye. Too good to drop. He decides to investigate, goes to the company directly, then phone rings. Caller ID says, do. He assumes it's his sister ready to roast him. He picks up. Yeah, quit bugging me. Voice. This is Hong Haiyan. Wene dies inside. Revives. Puts on tough act. Oh, hey, what's up? She laughs. That's not the reaction I expected. She tells him rumors are flying people thought the role went to a famous star. They'll be shocked when they see him. Wene hangs up, blushing so hard he looks like a neon sign. Family reaction. Hospital check. Industry reaction. Chaos. Elsewhere, Manu meets Shin Dong-chan, the writer's miserable drowning kimchi with soju. Manu. Dude, cheer up, Dongchan. Nope, life sucks. Let me suffer in peace. Manu squinted at Dongchan like he was staring at someone who'd just given up on life halfway through a burrito. Bro, did you seriously drop out of SBC just to come up with these weak excuses? Dongchan, looking like a man whose soul had been repossessed by student debt, mumbled back. It's not like that. I'm working on a film, short one, called Detective Agency. Manu nearly choked. Detective Agency? That sounds less like a movie and more like a group project for a criminal justice major who couldn't get an internship. And don't tell me you actually found an investor for this circus. Dongchan nodded grimly. Yeah, around 30 million won, maybe. Entertainment industry guy. He wants me to use some rookies and cast Park Young-hook as the male lead. Manu leaned back, laughing so hard he almost spilled his overpriced cold brew. My guy, even if people love it, your film's gonna be remembered as a cleanup gig, like washing dishes after a Michelin star meal. Dongchan just stared. Manu leaned in, lowering his voice. Do you want me to hook you up with a real actor? Suspicious, Dongchan asked. Aren't all the people you know basically A-listers with fan bases that would burn down Netflix headquarters if they got bad lighting? Yeah, Manu shrugged. But top-tier actors still check out indie scripts sometimes. Plus, I'm not talking about just anyone. I'm talking about Kong Woo-jin. Dongchan blinked. Kong Woo-jin? If he's in my project, he'll just take over the whole thing. Exactly, Manu grinned. That's the point. The guy's destined to blow up. You want to ride the wave or get buried under it? Dongchan sighed. So much crap's happened the last 3 years, man. I'm just tired. And then, boom. Next morning, the entertainment world was on fire. Twitter, TikTok, Reddit, everyone was buzzing because profiler Henry was officially dropping. Articles hyped it like it was the second coming of Sherlock Holmes with abs. The PR teased a scene stealer actor who was apparently going to melt faces off with their performance. By lunchtime, the show's title reveal went viral. Public curiosity went nuclear. Dongchan scrolled through his phone, half smiling, half jealous. Sure, he was happy for his friend, but damn. It stung watching everyone else's rocket ship launch while he was still duct taping his paper airplane. Cut to detective agency auditions. Dongchan is expecting a rookie parade of mediocrity. Wene shows up, aloof, confident, slightly intimidating like a cat walking into a dog show. Dongchan, you're not just showing up to collect applause points, are you? Wene. No, I brought actual performances. Prepare to be judged. Cue Wene acting out the sudden murder villa incident scene. Husband away, wife cheating, body falls in soup. No, really. Burly dude, kidnaps guy. Kim Ryujan hides in the basement like it's an escape room from hell. Dongchan, this is not acting. This is criminally good. I think my heart just did a backflip. Then director Park shows up, slightly confused. Wene introduces himself. Everyone suddenly remembers, oh, he's the phoenix that just walked in from nowhere. Dongchan, we can't ignore this. If he cares about the project, we're not letting him walk. Wene, poker face activated. Confused, but still cool. Cut to cafe meeting. Wene, dripping with, I just woke up like this energy. Dongchan, panicking slightly because his precious detective agency script has found its champion. Dongchan, you feel attached to the script? Wayne, yes, it's art. Don't cry, Dongchan. I'm just saying it's good. Dongchan, tears everywhere, emotional flooding, wipes nose discreetly. Wene internally, why is he crying? Did I say the wrong word? Dongchan, we need to overturn the table. Wene, yes, that sounds dramatic. Dongchan, please, take on Kim Ryujan. Protagonist, detective agency, Wene. Poker face still on. Slight panic internally, Dongchan. Festival circuits like Missensine are waiting. The Godfather, wannabes, the Citizen Kane fans. Wayne, I think I just got drafted into art house legend territory. No pressure. Korean Film Festival exposition dump. Narrator. Judges? Only the gods of Korean cinema. Occasional celebrity actors as guest judges. Over 600 short films submitted every year. Top 40 equals winning the cultural lottery. Top prize? Basically your golden ticket to immortality. Weene nods like he totally understands. Internally, what in the fresh kimchi hell is this festival? Dongchen, films in 2 months. We're aiming for that. Weene. Cool, cool, cool. Translation. I have no idea what's happening. Detective agency script? Trash it. We're starting from 0 with you at the center. Weene. Bro, calm down. We don't need to go nuclear. Dongchen slams fist on table. It's not nuclear, it's destiny. Jeju Entertainment. CEO Gusab flips table. How dare he? I am CEO. Narrator. CEO of Tantrums mostly. Blue Vision Films pulled the plug. Dongchan scrapped it. Gusab fumes. Convinced some A-lister stole the lead. Manager Park. No sir. No big name actors involved. Gusab. Still salty. Fine. Spread the word. No investors for detective agency. Block this man's dreams. Side quest. Hong Haiyan enters. Haiyan at BW Entertainment. Furiously texting, sleuth mode activated. Finds out Weine is attached to detective agency. Haiyan. Why would he pick that trash script? Wait, is he gonna outshine me? Narrator. Jealousy.exe has been launched. She begs CEO Chisong to dig dirt on detective agency. Chisong. Suspicious cat mode. Why do you care? Don't tell me you want to act in a short film? Haiyan. Lies badly. Of course not, I'm just curious. Chisong raises eyebrow. Yeah, and I just watch K-dramas for the plot. Finally, she cracks. It's about Weenie. Chisong. New boyfriend. Haiyan screams an actress voice. He's an actor. Manu, Uniscene. Weine gets summoned like a Pokemon. Shows up to an apartment studio. Manu. So, why detective agency? Weine. Poker face. Instinct. Narrator. Translation. I panicked and said the first cool-sounding word. Manu. Gasps like he just saw the Virgin Mary. Instinct? Genius. Weine internally. Did I just unlock a cheat code? They hand him the official Profiler Henry script. Weine. Acts calm, internally screaming. Oh, cool. Another top project with celebrities. Narrator. Man went from unemployed to Netflix original in a week. Back to detective agency. Dongchan. Scraping investors together like loose change and couch cushions. Weenie. Offers help. Dongchan. No. No. You act. I'll cry about money. Plot twist. Hong Haiyan enters the room. Mask off. Wayne. Poker face. Internally. Oh my god. Haiyan. Surprised? Weine. Yeah. Narrator. The lie detector determined that was a lie. She insists on joining detective agency, even offering to pay her own way. Dongchen. Brain explodes. Weine. Still poker face internally. Why is my life suddenly a rom-com? Haiyan. Why'd you choose this role? Weine. Instinct. Haiyan. Stares at him like he's a UFO. You're such a freak. Winnie. Thanks. Script reading day. Profiler Henry. Weine shows up dressed like a college freshman. Security guard. Suspicious. Haiyan swoops in. He's with me. Narrator. And just like that, he was smuggled into high society. She even does his makeup. Weine internally. This is a dream. Hong Haiyan is brushing my face. Inside, Weine Hida's behind Haiyan like a lost puppy. Then bam! He meets top actor Young Hook. Young Hook. You're handsome. Ever thought of acting? Weine internally. Bro, I am acting. Literally the role you're asking about. Finally, Manu introduces him as Assistant Manager Park. Room. Stunned silence. Narrator. Cue the collective. Whoeth is this guy? Script reading performance. Weine channels his subspace cheat code. Expression shifts. Atmosphere changes. Line. There he is. The bastard. Room. Collective shiver. Young Hook. Sweating bullets. This is moderate acting? Narrator. If that was moderate, I don't want to see extreme. Weine steamrolls the scene like a sociopathic bulldozer. Young Hook. Existential crisis intensifies. Old veteran actor whispers. Careful. That kid might overshadow you. Young Hook. Panic.exe has stopped responding. After party time. Everyone recovering from trauma. Weine? Just hungry. Man's biggest worry. Will there be enough meat at the after party? Making team reporter. How much practice did that take? Wayne, professional mode. The script is great. Reporter. Wait, are you self-taught? Wayne, calmly. Yeah, room. Blue. Screen of death. Narrator. And just like that, the myth of Kong Wayne was born. People couldn't believe what they'd just seen, like actual jaws on the floor disbelief. Who the hell pulls off Oscar-level acting with nothing but YouTube tutorials and a mirror? Young-hook looked like he just found out Santa wasn't real, while Hyeon was sitting there grinning like she'd known all along this self-study freak was about to wreck everyone's self-esteem. All eyes drilled into Woo Jane like he'd just confessed to being Batman. Poor guy had no idea why the vibe suddenly felt like a cult initiation. He wondered if he came off arrogant, but hey, he wasn't lying. Nervous, he tried to peace out with the classic, "Sorry, I suck at expressing myself" excuse. Hyeon tracked him like a hawk until some big shot suit followed him outside. Probably the head of BHM Entertainment, ready to slide over a contract like a blackjack dealer. Meanwhile, Chisong hit Hyeon with the burning question, "Yo, was that guy legit?" She nodded, cool as ever, explaining that even with his industry connections, he'd find nothing. Acting was just a hobby for this dude. Super actor? He signed up for fun. So what do you think? Chisong admitted that at first the guy looked like average wallpaper, but now? He's a monstrous genius. Hyeon smirked, saying every entertainment company in town was already foaming at the mouth for Woojane. The business card printers were probably overheating. Chisong wasn't about to sit still. If this guy was talent, he wanted dibs. Cut to the dinner party. Woojan was the main course of conversation, everyone chewing on his name. Young-hook was shook. He'd never seen anyone like him, couldn't even measure the ceiling of his potential. Playing assistant manager Park should have been a career highlight for anyone, but Woojane turned it into a freaking Super Bowl halftime show. And just when the room was worshipping him, a couple haters piped up, whispering, "Newbie thinks he's hot stuff, skipping company dinner." Nah, he's not arrogant. He's a monster. And the PD literally said dinner was optional. He launched into a TED Talk about emotional recovery. After pulling that kind of deep emotion out, you think he can just laugh over fried chicken 3 hours later? Man needs meditation, not karaoke. The room nodded like disciples. Even the haters shrank back. One girl admitted she gets cranky too after intense emotions. Manu rolled in just in time, got grilled about where he'd found Woojane. Manu just shrugged he'd answered that question more times today than he'd refreshed Instagram. He even admitted he'd checked into Woojane's past. Probably overseas. Probably self-taught. He wasn't made, Manu declared. He was born to act. Young-hook nearly flipped the table. Screw this. I'm going to practice. Lead roles don't get overshadowed by supporting freaks. His motivation sparked a chain reaction. Suddenly everyone was up, vowing to study harder. Manu chuckled. Woojane had basically set the entire cast on fire, and the drama's quality was about to skyrocket. Meanwhile, the supposed genius himself passed out, dreaming about barbecue he didn't get to eat. Man just wanted beef, not a revolution. The next morning, Hyeon noticed he looked colder than usual, probably still haunted by the assistant manager Park emotions. She offered to drive him home, which he thought was the cutest thing since free samples at Costco, until he got in the car and saw Chisong lurking in the back seat like a mob boss. Turns out, yeah, CEO of BW Entertainment. Coincidentally, the investor for detective agency. Basically, his landlord in career terms. Chisong wasted no time. "I know you don't have an agency. I want you from day one." Woojane asked if this was a contract pitch. "Damn right," Chisong said, flexing his "we're small but mighty" line like every startup CEO in history. The industry is a jungle. One wrong move and you're lunch. Woojane, instead of being cautious, grinned and said, "Sounds fun." Chisong blinked like, who the hell enjoys being eaten alive? Still, he pressed harder, promising focus, care, and matching any unconventional conditions other agencies had dangled. Woojane, bluffing like a poker champ, pretended he'd heard conditions but kept it vague. Chisong was sweating bullets but kept pitching. Finally, Woojane deflected. "I'll think about it." Translation: stall now, panic later. Back in his comfy bed, he admitted he knew the offers would come, but damn, choices sucked. He decided to survive detective agency first, then figure out the contract mess. But when he logged into his weird subspace, surprise profiler Henry's rating jumped to grade S. Didn't even know that was a thing. Whatever. Time for the detective agency shoot. First day on set. Villa location, nerves high, tough guy mask on. He overheard some actors talking crap lead actor unknown. Project probably forced by investors. Classic jealous chatter. Woo Jian held back, telling himself to act the monster, not the petty. When Dongchan called main actor, "Get ready!" and Woo Jian stood up, the table went dead silent. "Yes, director," he said. Boom. Everyone realized they'd been roasting the star right to his face. One guy nearly fainted, thinking he'd just pissed off a future legend. Woo Jian smoothed it over, saying it was a misunderstanding, which only made them sweat harder. Then Haiyan walked in, slow motion glasses off, stealing the room's oxygen. Turns out she was playing the wife role, but under strict NDA secrecy. The crew went into collective meltdown. Who the hell was this Woo Jian dude if Haiyan herself was casually buddy-buddy with him? Dongchan told them to zip it, reminded them about dorm rules, schedules, and confidentiality. Makeup chair time Woo Jian, trying to psych himself up, reminding himself, tough act first, panic later. Haiyan whispered in his ear mid-makeup session like some devil-on-the-shoulder agent. "So, have you thought about our agency?" He fumbled but bluffed again. "After this project." She smirked, saying actors are like products and should set their own price tag, then dipped, leaving him muttering, "Cool. Maybe tell me how to set my worth, thanks." Still, no time to worry. The cameras were waiting. He was about to play detective agency's Kim Ryujin, not just read him, but become him. Subspace memories flooding back. Senses ready. He stepped forward. For the first time, the self-taught monster was about to carry an entire film.
Shooting starts and immediately Woo Jian stumbles and falls flat on the ground. Everyone thinks it's an intentional ad-lib because it perfectly matches Kim Ryujin's slightly sloppy, clumsy personality. Haiyan internally agrees because that awkward vibe is literally written into the character. Meanwhile, other actors start quietly praising Woo Jian because not only did it look natural, but it felt like he planned the movement in advance. They assume he's intentionally enhancing the character with instinct-level improvisation. Haiyan even thinks that with acting this good, he doesn't even need tricks like ad-libs, and starts wondering if this guy isn't basically a cheat code character. But the truth is Woo Jian actually tripped for real, and he's internally panicking. He's embarrassed, frozen, wondering if the director will cut, or if he should stop, but nobody says anything, so he just keeps going, hoping it works out. He refocuses and pulls Kim Ryujin fully into himself. Kim Ryujin is scared, but still moves forward. The reason Woo Jian loves acting is because he gets to experience life through someone else's perspective, and this time that perspective involves murder. He wonders how many intense moments like this he'll experience in his lifetime. That thrill keeps pushing him forward. He plays a witness who was lured in, wondering how he couldn't resist before jumping through a window. Kim Ryujin casually comments that the corpse smells surprisingly pleasant for a dead person. He notices stairs leading down to the basement and finds a man unconscious on the ground, then realizes he's still alive. When he hears someone returning, he hides behind a sofa. A woman enters wondering what to do because the man is alive, then casually says that since he's a witness they can't let him live. Kim Ryujin freezes, holding his breath, trying not to shake, as she murders the man right in front of him. He curses her silently while filming, and the onlookers are stunned by the massive skill gap between actors. On top of that, Woo Jian is still an unknown rookie. Dongchan wonders if this is even real because his acting somehow improved again. Haiyan agrees, saying this performance would completely dominate the Mensen Short Film Festival, and if anyone else won after this, it would honestly look bribed. As Detective Agency wraps up filming, promotions for profiler Henry explode online. The official YouTube account drops a teaser and poster revealing the drama's tone. Even though the teaser is just 30 seconds of script reading, the views skyrocket. The narrator even jokes, asking if it's hype or just the power of two tycoons, and tells viewers to argue in the comments. Filming finally ends, and Woo Jian feels relieved but also strangely emotional. Even though it's just a short film, it's his first movie, first shoot, and first lead role. Everything was exhausting but fun. If a short film is this hard, he can't imagine how intense Profiler Henry will be, so he decides he needs to build stamina. While thinking about how worth it everything was, he gets a call from Danchin inviting him for drinks. Woo Jin refuses, telling them to enjoy without him. Danchin calls him a punk, asking why he's suddenly acting mysterious. Woo Jin sighs and says he'll explain later, thinking it's better to surprise everyone when they see him on TV instead of lying now. Danchin later asks if he's tired, and Woo Jin calmly says it's manageable. Danchin assumes that for someone joining a mega project this must be nothing. Before leaving, Danchin explains post-production work and audio issues while Woo Jin pretends to understand. Woo Jin asks about the Mensen festival schedule and hears it'll likely be mid-April. Danchin tells him he needs a new suit because, as the lead actor, he has to attend the festival and look presentable among industry elites. He explains that rookies usually pay just to enter. Agencies sign 5-year contracts and don't earn for 3 years. Woo Jin is shocked because he's already making money and Profiler Henry is massive. Danchin explains agencies want him because they don't need to invest hundreds of millions training him. That uncertainty scares Woo Jin, realizing how brutal the industry is. Danchin then hands him the scripts for parts 3 and 4 of Profiler Henry and leaves. Later, Woo Jin lies on his bed feeling peace he hasn't felt in a long time, but remembers the 8 business cards he received. He doesn't want to meet all agencies because rumors spread fast and he doesn't know the industry well. So he randomly picks one card and makes a call. Meanwhile, Haein talks with Chisong, saying watching Kang Woo Jin act in person was overwhelming. She felt intimidated because trying to match his acting made her realize how much she lacked. She wonders how he keeps such clear boundaries between completely different characters, and if that kind of skill can even be learned. Still, she wants to keep seeing his acting to improve, so she tells Chisong they need to secure him no matter what and raise the down payment as high as possible. Suddenly, Chisong gets a call from an unknown number, and it turns out to be Woo Jin. They rush to talk and arrange a meeting at BW Entertainment. Chisong welcomes Woo Jin, explaining the company is small but growing thanks to Hong Haein. Woo Jin notices how one top actor can sustain an entire agency. Chisong asks if he met other agencies, and Woo Jin vaguely says a few. Chisong asks about the down payment. Woo Jin nervously thinks about the 20 million suggested to him, but before he can speak, Chisong offers 30 million. Woo Jin freezes. Chisong then casually says 40 million is also possible. Woo Jin is completely stunned, internally celebrating while calmly asking if 40 million is really okay. Chisong agrees without hesitation. That was honestly baffling, but when Chisong was offering that much money, there was no reason to refuse. Woo Jin forced himself to keep the conversation natural, even though every second felt like walking on thin ice. Curious, he asked why Chisong set such a high amount. Chisong answered honestly, saying that these days companies avoid down payments entirely. Even top stars receive houses or assets instead of cash. Woo Jin nodded, saying he'd heard about that trend. Chisong explained that down payments were almost non-existent for rookies who usually started as trainees. But Woo Jin was different. He already had 2 projects lined up despite being unknown. Still, public recognition equals money, and companies unfamiliar with him would hesitate, while those who saw potential would invest. Chisong praised his acting but warned him about the brutal uncertainty of the industry. What if every project Woo Jin appeared in failed? That risk alone meant no company would offer more than 40 or 50 million no matter how talented he was. Chisong slammed the contract on the table and said the real key wasn't the down payment but the profit split and contract duration. Woo Jin replied that since he wouldn't waste time on training or preparation, it worked in their favor. Chisong agreed, saying that alone was a massive advantage for any agency. He then proposed a 9-to-1 profit split, with the company taking only 1 and the contract lasting just 1 year. In short, BW Entertainment wanted Woo Jin to test drive them. After 1 year, he could leave or extend freely. Internally, Wu Jin was shocked. No other company could possibly offer conditions like this. He needed experience, and this deal was absurdly good, especially with Hong Hayan involved. Wu Jin then added 2 conditions. First, no questions about his past. Second, he would only accept projects he personally chose. Chisong understood immediately. When asked whether that meant refusing recommendations, Wu Jin clarified that suggestions were fine. Chisong agreed and said both conditions would be added. He asked if that meant Wu Jin would sign. Wu Jin calmly said he would be in his care. Inside, Chisong was laughing like a villain celebrating, and already calling him BW Entertainment's second actor. Then Wu Jin casually handed him a business card saying he'd received it during script reading, and that it was from a film company, not an agency. Chisong froze when he saw the name Box Movie and the sender general manager, Choi Daman, one of the most legendary directors in the country. Chisong immediately realized they were trying to pull Wu Jin into a film project. For now, he told Wu Jin they should meet him. Wu Jin didn't understand but trusted him. Minutes later, they were waiting at Box Movie for over 30 minutes. Chisong wondered if the manager was angry because Wu Jin hadn't contacted him. Then a man arrived apologizing, saying something urgent came up. Chisong knew that excuse too well. The man sarcastically commented that he'd thought a rookie actor was ignoring him. Wu Jin replied flatly that he'd been busy shooting. The man clearly sounded irritated and said he'd told director Woo Hyung-woo everything and almost got scolded because Wu Jin hadn't responded. He then stated that if Wu Jin wanted in, he'd have to audition and handed over the script. While Wu Jin skimmed it, Chisong realized how massive this opportunity was. Working under a legendary director would skyrocket Wu Jin's influence. Meanwhile, the manager mockingly said he couldn't promise anything regarding money. Chisong whispered that this was an offer they couldn't refuse. Wu Jin calmly asked him to refuse it. Chisong froze. Chisong lost words, realizing Hayan was right. This guy was completely unpredictable. He tried to stall, saying Wu Jin had only read a few pages. Wu Jin replied calmly that he was sure. When Chisong asked if he really wanted to destroy this opportunity, Wu Jin agreed without hesitation. He wanted to blow it. Chisong panicked and tried damage control, praising the script and pretending Wu Jin wanted more time to read. The manager laughed but hesitated, saying it might look like favoritism. Chisong agreed and stalled with small talk, then promised to check schedules and call back soon. After leaving the building, Chisong exploded, asking why Wu Jin would reject something like that. The reason was simple. Wu Jin had secretly checked the project rating inside the subspace, F grade. He didn't know why a legendary director's project would be rated that low, but he wasn't going to gamble his early career. He'd heard failure was acceptable only after recognition. Chisong stared at him in disbelief. Wu Jin couldn't say it was F grade, so he used his usual excuse: intuition. Chisong nearly lost his mind, wondering if Wu Jin was a genius beyond Hong Hayan or a full-blown lunatic. Later, Wu Jin returned home exhausted but curious and began reading the script again. Since it was from a legendary director, he wanted to understand why it was rated F. He entered the subspace to practice. As soon as he selected the role, the system detected a new language, English. A bright light flooded the space. Letters rushed toward him and slammed into his body. Wu Jin screamed as words poured into him non-stop. When it ended, he collapsed outside the subspace, clutching his head. Then he realized something insane. He was speaking fluent English, perfect pronunciation, like the language had been implanted directly into his brain. He tested it and confirmed he could read and speak English effortlessly. That meant the subspace could teach any language. He laughed, realizing even that F-grade script had given him a ridiculous upgrade. Meanwhile, somewhere else, a woman was on the phone crying, saying a director had taken her to a motel instead of driving her home. She escaped and was kicked off the team the next day. Another woman told her not to worry because she had evidence and could upload everything online. That director was starting a new project next week. The downfall of director Woo Hyung-woo had already begun. The next day Chisong called Woo Jin telling him to get in the car. Woo Jin told him to speak comfortably from now on. Chisong asked if that was necessary. As Woo Jin entered the car, Chisong asked if he'd received the shooting schedule for Profiler Henry, saying Ryu Yang-min and manager Park would be handling the first cuts. Woo Jin paused when Chisong casually said that since he wasn't the type to get nervous, he should just prepare thoroughly for the remaining 5 days. The funny part was Woo Jin was actually extremely nervous. Chisong explained that first they'd head to a celebrity-exclusive makeup shop and then create his official profile. Woo Jin wondered if that meant striking poses for photos like a model and thought it sounded similar to acting but way more embarrassing. Chisong then mentioned that he had already expressed their intention to decline the box movie audition, and of course manager Choi Daman had thrown a fit. Woo Jin had almost forgotten about that and thanked him. Chisong added that he didn't say anything unnecessary during the rejection, but box movie probably wouldn't have a good impression of either of them now. Woo Jin thought that mindset was narrow-minded and said they could have at least declined after the audition. Chisong disagreed, saying it was better not to start anything at all, and admitted that working with director Woo Hyung-woo in the future would now be difficult. Even so, Woo Jin knew he couldn't act in an F-grade movie and replied coolly that it didn't matter. Chisong realized that the title of legendary director really meant nothing to him and found him strange. When asked if he needed anything else, Woo Jin said he needed a suit. Chisong asked why. Woo Jin couldn't say it was because Donchin told him, so he answered arrogantly that he'd wear it to the Mensen Short Film Festival. Chisong was shocked, wondering if Woo Jin truly believed detective agency would make the finals, but agreed that a suit was necessary and said the company would handle it. He even decided to add a suit photo to Woo Jin's profile. Woo Jin was surprised, wondering if they just handed out luxury suits like candy. Then he casually asked if it was possible to get a Japanese script. Chisong was confused because it was such a random request and asked why. Woo Jin brushed it off, saying he just wanted to take a look. Chisong seriously couldn't understand him and wondered why only crazy people seemed to gather around him. But looking at Woo Jin through the mirror, he admitted those crazy people were insanely talented. With light makeup and a suit, Woo Jin looked completely alive, radiating top-tier actor energy. Chisong expected the reaction. A staff member asked how the photo looked, and Chisong immediately approved it. As he discussed the BW website, his phone rang. It was Manu. Manu asked if Woo Jin was settling in well and whether he'd met other directors. Chisong hoped PD Song would keep things quiet and casually mentioned that Woo Jin had declined director Woo Hyung-woo's next project. Manu asked why. Chisong explained that after reading a few pages, Woo Jin had a bad feeling. Manu remembered Woo Jin talking about intuition before and half-jokingly wondered if he had activated some kind of totem. Since neither Profiler Henry nor Detective Agency had aired, yet it was unclear whether the script was really bad. Manu thought that if Woo Jin had joined, it would have caused chaos, and concluded again that this guy was something else. He laughed, saying an actor refusing a project was final anyway. After hanging up, an unknown number called Manu. The caller introduced himself as director Kwan Kid-aik. Manu was confused why one of the country's top directors would suddenly call him. Kid-aik said he'd gotten his number from PD Song because he was curious and asked if he could secretly observe the first day of shooting. He was the type who only believed what he saw in person. Manu agreed and promised to confirm the schedule. Later, Kid-aik spoke with Gilju and Hyung-woo. Hyung-woo said things would be busy soon as both Kid-aik and he were starting projects. Gilju asked if auditions were done. Hyung-woo suddenly vented, saying some nameless nobody had insulted his audition and had real nerve. He said the name was Kang Woo Jin and that if he ever showed up on their set, they should kick him out. Kid-aik replied that acting skill mattered more than attitude, and that seemed to trigger Hyung-woo, who started yelling. From Kid-aik's view, Hyung-woo just looked insecure. Suddenly, Gilju's phone rang. He froze, then whispered something to Kid-aik. Confused, Hyung-woo asked what was going on, but Gilju laughed awkwardly and left, saying he had urgent business. Kid Ake then pushed his phone toward Hyangwoo and said this wasn't the time to criticize others. Hyangwoo saw the breaking news exposing his crimes uploaded on YouTube. His face went pale. Kid Ake left saying crimes had consequences and that he should repent. Meanwhile, the filming site buzzed with preparation. Woojin stepped out of the car and froze when he saw the massive building looking like a logistics center. He suddenly felt nervous enough to fart. Kid Ake noticed his reaction and thought it was his first time at a large filming complex. Even though Woojin looked like a proper actor, he was still a rookie. Manu joked that he hoped nervousness wouldn't cause mistakes and felt something interesting was about to happen. Manu told Chisong that having Hong Haein and Woo Jin join BW was insane. Chisong replied that Manu would soon realize neither of them were normal and that he was especially excited about Woo Jin. Manu then asked if Woo Jin really rejected Woo Hyangwoo's project. Chisong confirmed it was because of intuition. Manu chuckled, saying that part was interesting too. Suddenly staff grew noisy. A girl showed them her phone and the article shocked them. Manu grabbed it, shouting that director Woo Hyangwoo's disgusting actions were exposed by a massive YouTuber. They couldn't believe it. The context made it clear it wasn't a rumor. They slowly turned to look at Woo Jin, realizing his intuition lined up perfectly. Manu wondered if he'd seen the future. Chisong thought he might be possessed. Woojin quietly laughed, thinking the chaos had conveniently masked his fart. When he later saw the news, he finally understood why the project was F-grade. The director himself was trash. People asked if he rejected it because he knew. Woojin found it ridiculous and said it was just coincidence. Chisong agreed it was coincidence but admitted the timing was terrifying. Manu couldn't explain it either. The real issue was Woo Jin's calmness while everything exploded around him like this kind of disaster was routine. Manu wondered what kind of life he'd lived before. Woo Jin was confused when Manu insisted it was definitely a totem. Manu then told him that half of today's shoot involved assistant manager Park, and that tomorrow the rest of the cast would join. Today he'd only work with Ryu Yang Min. Woo Jin replied indifferently that it was fine. Manu told him to get makeup and wardrobe ready and asked about his stylists. Chisong said he'd introduce them today and called over Su Hyun and Ye Jang. He introduced Su Hyun as his hair stylist and Han Ye Jang as his stylist. Su Hyun said Woo Jin could treat him casually since he was younger. Han Ye Jang added that she'd already prepared outfits after studying profiler Henry's style. Woo Jin politely asked them to take good care of him, and Chisong encouraged everyone, saying, "Let's do our best." Wai Jang said she had already prepared assistant manager Park's outfit, so Manu decided to check it together with her. Before leaving, Manu casually told Woo Jin that an unexpected happy event might happen today. He described it like an old rattling car leaving and a foreign car arriving. Woo Jin didn't understand a single word. Manu tried again, saying there was a foreign car at the filming site. Then they all left, leaving Woo Jin confused. Suwon asked if the place wasn't too big and whether Woo Jin was okay. He admitted he was nervous since it was his first time there. Woo Jin thought maybe the detective agency shoot had numbed him because he wasn't fully nervous yet but not relaxed either. He replied indifferently that he'd be fine soon. Suwon excitedly agreed, saying he'd secretly take a deep breath. Woo Jin briefly wondered how the detective agency editing was going. Elsewhere, Donchin ordered the editor to rewind again. The exhausted editor complained it was already the third edit and there wasn't much time left. Donchin refused to compromise, saying the actors gave everything so the editing couldn't be lazy. Even if it wasn't perfect, it had to be done properly. He didn't want Woo Jin's first project to flop because of sloppy editing. At the same time, inside the subspace, the detective agency script grade quietly rose from B+ to A. Back at the filming site, young Hyuk stepped out of his car thinking he wouldn't be dominated today. Last time he had fallen behind and his pride wouldn't allow it again. As profiler Yu Jiang, he needed to analyze assistant manager Park completely and blur the line between acting and reality. He was surprised to see Woo Jin standing there. Young Hyuk greeted him sensing a heavy aura while Woo Jin admired his sharp, stylish look and greeted him back calmly. For some reason, young Hyuk felt irritated, wondering if Woo Jin should be treating him more like a senior. A staff member called for rehearsal, and young Hyuk walked off muttering that he wouldn't be dominated today. Woo Jin was confused about what that smoking hot man was talking about. Soon the set prepared for filming. Woo Jin realized this was nothing like detective agency and felt slightly nauseous. He looked at Ryu Yang Min sitting calmly and realized what a real professional looked like. He accepted that he was still imitating at best. Still, the acting felt real. The first scene followed assistant manager Park's surrender. Profiler Yu Jiang analyzed Park's past and present. This was their second meeting, so handcuffs were part of the scene. Park walked toward Woo Jin slowly. Action was called and Park fully possessed the role. Park asked what he could help with. Yu Jiang commented that he was fast. Park suggested they talk about everything and nothing. He casually asked if Yu Jiang had eaten breakfast and said he wanted a shrimp burger. Yu Jiang brought up Park's older sister who committed suicide. Park smiled and confirmed it. He said older sister with a twisted grin. Yu Jiang apologized, saying this was no longer small talk. Park disagreed, saying it was still small talk, and asked if that information was in the file. Yu Jiang said maybe everything, including the sister. Park asked if it helped catch the real culprit. Yu Jiang declared Park a psychopath and explained sociopaths form through environment. He described Park's abusive father, gambling, drinking, beating the family until the sister killed herself. Later, both parents died in a car accident, but the father crawled out showing signs of resistance. The case closed but felt wrong. Yu Jiang wondered if Park himself was the killer awakened by his father. Park smiled, imagining a knife pointed at someone, and asked if Yu Jiang really thought that was everything, and whether he considered untold stories. Everyone froze. Young Hyuk was shaken by Woo Jin's acting. Manu was stunned. Kwan Kid-ae couldn't believe this was the rookie he saw earlier. Ryu Yang Min was clearly struggling not to be dominated. This wasn't rookie acting. Kid-ae asked who that actor was. When he heard the name Kong Woo Jin, he remembered Hyangwoo and realized this was the same unknown actor. Kid-ae thought auditions were pointless for someone like this. The entire atmosphere shifted. Woo Jin had become the pillar of the set. Kid-ae wanted to keep watching but was warned people were starting to notice him, so he reluctantly left, thinking that boy's acting had terrifying pull. During break, everyone praised Young Min and Woo Jin. Woo Jin felt like he might actually die. This was far harder than detective agency. Young Hyuk noticed him trembling and told him recovery took time. Woo Jin insisted it was just cold. Young Hyuk smiled, saying he understood. Woo Jin thanked him nervously, thinking they'd never believe he was acting on concept. Filming continued non-stop. Woo Jin felt like an acting robot. Young Hyuk complained about mistakes, but Woo Jin wondered how he wasn't tired. Thankfully, the subspace break room existed, or he'd be dead already. Manu noticed Woo Jin still looked decent despite exhaustion and thought his stamina was insane. Manu got a call. It was Kid-ae. He said Woo Jin had been haunting his dreams. He asked where Manu found him. Manu replied honestly that Woo Jin didn't come from anywhere, he just fell from the sky. Kid-ae asked for info, but Manu admitted Woo Jin was a mystery who learned acting alone with zero connections. Later, Chisong handed Woo Jin a script. It was the Japanese script he requested. Woo Jin smiled internally, knowing he could now learn Japanese instantly. He entered the subspace, pressed his finger to the script, and learned Japanese effortlessly. When he returned, he could speak it fluently. Chisong then got a call saying detective agency editing was finished and invited them to a test screening. Woo Jin smiled nervously, realizing it was finally time. Walking with Chisong, he couldn't believe he was about to watch his own movie. Dongchen spotted them and congratulated Chisong. Then he asked Woo Jin why his face was pale. The shoot had been brutal after all. Looking at Danchen's wrecked appearance, Wu Jin wondered if the director had been stranded on an island. Wu Jin asked Danchen if he was okay. Danchen replied that he was fine and just hadn't slept or eaten properly for a few days, which was completely normal for him. He told them they'd talk later and suggested watching first. Sitting down, Danchen quietly hoped they'd enjoy it. The screen turned on, and Wu Jin instantly felt like his heart was about to jump out. Even though it was just a short film, this was his first lead role, his first real work. As the movie started, he couldn't stop fidgeting, wondering what it would look like finished. As detective agency played, Wu Jin wanted to disappear. It was painfully embarrassing. The runtime was 44 minutes, and the entire time he felt a mix of awkwardness, shame, and disbelief. But strangely, the film pulled him in. It felt like watching a different dimension. It felt like watching his own life unfold on screen. When the lights came back, Danchen asked how it was. Wu Jin immediately said it was phenomenal. Danchen looked proud while Wu Jin internally screamed in embarrassment, especially when he realized they kept the scene where he tripped. He thought they should have deleted it. Danchen then explained that the Mensen Short Film Festival had changed sponsors this year, which upgraded the scale. Because of that, actor awards were newly added, including Best Performance and the Grand Prize. Danchen clenched his fist, saying detective agency would grab attention anywhere. While Wu Jin focused on his film, a silent war was brewing in the broadcasting industry. Profiler Henry was entering checks, and major networks were overlapping schedules. Media called it a full-scale drama war, asking who would smile in May. Thanks to that, the drama scene became red-hot again. Back on set, preparations continued. Wu Jin grew bored waiting. Chisong noticed a familiar older man wearing a mask. As he debated approaching him, Manu was arguing with the VFX team, saying the scene shouldn't feel like a fairy tale, but like hell disguised as one. He explained that to portray assistant manager Park's mentality, the visuals needed deeper understanding. And spoke in English, describing colors shifting in the city. Wu Jin instantly realized the concept was off. He hesitated but stood up, deciding he'd need English sooner or later anyway. Speaking fluently, he explained that fairy tale brightness should be twisted into darkness, purple ground, dark blue trees, black sky, grotesque, childlike cruelty. The foreigner listened, shocked. Wu Jin introduced himself as the actor. When asked about the fireworks scene, he described blood-splattered innocence like a child witnessing violence. The man finally understood and thanked him sincerely. Everyone froze. Wu Jin's English wasn't study level. It was native level. Whispers spread, wondering if he lived in America. Manu cut the conversation short, telling people not to pry. Shooting resumed. Today's scene involved reenacting assistant manager Park's murders. A teddy bear was used for safety, while flashbacks revealed the real killings. Wu Jin had to portray both present Park and past Park. Even prepared, it felt uncomfortable. He realized acting wouldn't only show good sides of life. Action was called. Park smiled as the crowd cursed him. He wrapped the rope around the teddy bear, then the scene shifted into flashback. The victim begged. Park coldly said she would die today. He tightened the rope, dragging her as she screamed. Wu Jin's hands trembled. Cut was called. Wu Jin instantly broke character, rushed to the woman, apologized, and checked her condition. She was surprised by the instant personality shift. He noticed redness on her neck and insisted the director check her arms as well. He then ran off, urgently claiming he'd be right back, which everyone assumed was him collecting himself. As Chisong watched, President Choi approached him, asking if he remembered him. Chisong realized he was from Yulim Film and noticed the masked man was actually director Kwan Kid-aik. Kid-aik admitted he came to see Wu Jin. He praised his acting and English. Later, as Chisong and Wu Jin walked together, Chisong tried to say something but stopped himself. He cursed the stupid contract clause internally because he wanted to tell Wu Jin to really think carefully this time. But for some reason, the words just wouldn't come out. Chisong explained that director Kwan Kid-aik had a far better reputation and honor compared to director Woo Hyung-woo. Woo Jin said he understood and admitted he had researched him already. The man was a genius who had won awards at international film festivals. Yet for some reason Woo Jin didn't feel nervous at all. Watching him, Chisong felt like he was the only one stressed. They went inside, and Kwan Kid-aik welcomed them warmly, saying he finally got to meet Woo Jin up close. As Woo Jin sat down, Kid-aik handed him a script for his next project. Other actors had already received it. He suggested skimming it first and then discussing. Woo Jin agreed and secretly entered the subspace. He checked the script's rating and froze. 80 grade. It was terrible. He realized this was the same draft script he had seen earlier. If the draft was incomplete, then the full script probably wasn't finished either. Casting with an unfinished script made no sense. Even if Kid-aik was brilliant, this worried him. The roles were military ranks, and starting meant jumping straight into chaos. A strange fear hit him and he exited the subspace. Confused, he finally apologized and asked if this was definitely the next project. Kid-aik was caught off guard. Woo Jin explained it felt complete yet strangely hollow. Kid-aik laughed, impressed. He admitted the script was unfinished and praised Woo Jin for sensing it after only a dozen pages. He pulled out another script, saying he wanted him to read this one instead. In the subspace, Woo Jin read the title, The Island of Disappearance, rated a plus. The role was a sergeant with a split personality. The atmosphere was dark, intense, and nothing like before. The suspense was on another level. It felt dangerous but fascinating. While driving, Chisong got a call from Dongchen. Detective Agency had been selected as one of 40 finalists for the Emsen Short Film Festival. Woo Jin felt his heart race, wondering if this was really happening. Entries had increased by 30% this year, likely because of Haeun's involvement. Chisong said debuting at a festival only 2 months in was insane. On top of that, major directors were circling, and Woo Jin spoke flawless English. Suddenly, those absurd contract terms made sense. Chisong asked what Woo Jin thought about The Island of Disappearance. Woo Jin said he hadn't finished, but it was interesting. Chisong told him to read it fully and decide later, since Kid-aik was busy until after the festival. Then, Woo Jin suddenly asked for more scripts, preferably ones still in planning. Chisong asked about genre preferences, but Woo Jin said anything was fine. Dongchen warned that playing intense roles early could lead to typecasting and suggested sweet, charming roles for fanbase growth. Before anything else, filming wrapped. Manu praised Woo Jin, saying Assistant Manager Park was the best portrayal he'd ever seen. The crew applauded. Woo Jin felt unreal. He bowed and thanked everyone sincerely. As he left, it felt like being discharged from the military, leaving comrades behind. Relief and emotion hit him at once. Alone, he started laughing uncontrollably, finally releasing everything he'd held in. Then he realized someone was watching. Hong Haeun. Disaster. She said she'd been there the whole time. She grabbed his shoulder, telling him to snap out of it. Chisong arrived, confused. Haeun complained Woo Jin was laughing and talking to himself like a madman. They told him he wasn't possessed and didn't need a psychiatrist. Woo Jin hurriedly explained he was acting a character from The Island of Disappearance. Haeun realized it was Kid-aik's project. She teased him, saying that explained why his smile looked even crazier than Assistant Manager Park. Woo Jin thanked them for worrying and decided he really needed to keep his guard up. Chisong suggested taking a day off. Woo Jin agreed, saying he wanted to watch Detective Agency in theaters. The opening ceremony was in 2 days, and watching it on a big screen would be different. Chisong warned him to cover his face just in case. Meanwhile, Young Dae scrolled festival news, seeing massive media attention. He planned to attend with friends and wondered why Kang Woo Jin was missing again. He messaged him but got no reply. Assuming he was busy, Young Dae decided to go without him. Woo Jin was there too, but with his face covered by a mask. They walked right past each other without realizing it, both heading toward the CCV cinema. Inside the theater, every single seat was full. Looking around, Wu Jin was genuinely shocked by how many people had come. What made it worse was the thought that his face would appear on a massive screen while real people reacted in real time. As he tried to calm himself, he suddenly heard familiar voices. When he looked closer, his soul almost left his body. It was the hopeless trio. Lai Kaon, the chubby one, Nyangu with the entertainer vibe, and the big guy Kim Deong. They sat right in front of him and immediately started talking about Kong Wu Jin. They guessed he probably had a girlfriend, and that was why he wasn't showing up. Young Dae shut them up because the movie was starting. The moment detective agency began, Kim Deong asked for popcorn, and Young Dae froze, pointing at the screen. Wu Jin appeared. Their mouths dropped so wide it looked like a watermelon could fit inside. They panicked, asking what Kong Wu Jin was doing in the movie. Kim Deong suggested calling him immediately, but Young Dae refused, saying they had to finish watching first. Young Dae suddenly connected the dots. Wu Jin had once asked for scripts including detective agency, then disappeared and got busy. That meant he auditioned and became the lead. A designer turned actor overnight. Wu Jin silently watched them, freaking out, wondering why they were paying so much attention. He originally planned to tell them when Profiler Henry aired, but now he decided to at least explain today. When Hong Haein appeared beside him on screen, Young Dae screamed again. Everyone wondered why Hong Haein was in a short film. Wu Jin realized nobody knew. After the movie ended, Wu Jin crouched under a tree preparing excuses. Before he could move, his friends spotted him and shouted in unison like cartoon characters, yelling, "Catch that bastard!" They chased him until they were exhausted, then demanded explanations. Wu Jin admitted it. He was the protagonist. Hearing it directly made it worse. He explained discovering his acting talent during the super actor audition, practicing, then landing detective agency. Young Dae said that wasn't talent, it was cheating. Wu Jin admitted he was busy filming and confirmed he'd continue acting, but asked them to keep it secret. He said his next project was a drama and confidential. The trio exploded when they learned he had Hong Haein's number. Online attention for detective agency was already pouring in, and Kong Wu Jin's name was spreading. People wondered how it would perform at the festival. Elsewhere, industry insiders were watching films. A Japanese master director, Kyodoro Taniguchi, noticed something different. When detective agency played, he froze. The protagonist actor was on another level. He asked who it was. No one knew. Someone said he was from overseas. Kwan Kidhae confirmed it vaguely, saying the actor would be the first blue chip of the year. Then came the closing and awards ceremony. Reporters packed the entrance. Some actors were irritated, saying everything revolved around Hong Haein. When the detective agency team arrived, cameras exploded. Wu Jin felt nauseous from the crowd. Haein teased him and dragged him into a pose, whispering that he had to survive this. Inside, the hall was packed. The ceremony began. Best Actress was announced by Kwan Kidhae. The winner was Hong Haein. She thanked everyone, then oddly congratulated someone in advance. Wu Jin didn't understand why. Then Best Actor was announced. Kong Wu Jin from Detective Agency. He froze, murmurs filled the hall. Who is he? An unknown, beating top actors. He walked up stunned. Taniguchi congratulated him in Japanese. Without thinking, Wu Jin replied in Japanese. The entire hall froze again. Does he speak Japanese too? Taniguchi asked if he lived in Japan. Wu Jin said he only knew enough to communicate. No one believed that pronunciation came from studying. Wu Jin thanked everyone, simply saying the road was hard, but the people around him were wonderful, and he'd continue doing his best. Moments later, Detective Agency won the grand prize. Dongchen cried openly. News exploded instantly. His friends saw it. The hopeless trio lost their minds. His parents stared at his message in disbelief until he sent a photo of the trophy. That moment marked the birth of actor Kong Wu Jin. Curious what happens next? Tap that cheeky bell, subscribe, like, and share.